I did mention that we're presenting two related scripts tonight, so we're getting ready now to change the mood and bring you a comedy that was based on the novel Mr. and Mrs. Cugat. Out of that came the movie Our Husbands Necessary, starred Ray Milland and Betty Field. Does anybody remember that movie? Oh, sure you do. And from that came the radio show My Favorite Husband with Richard Denning and... Very good. Who was that? Very good. And from that came the TV show. Very good. You guys are supposed to take rec. Somewhere between the movie and the radio skits, the family name was changed to George and Liz Cooper because the big muckadees felt that Cugat was too ethnic a name. So now let's look in on a typical day at the Cooper house as we sit back and listen. Just give us a moment, please.
It's time for My Favorite Husband, starring Lucille Ball.
Hello, everybody.
Yes, it's the new gay family series starring Lucille Ball with Richard Denning, brought to you by the Jell-O family of desserts.
Desserts. J-E-L-L. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. Oh, the big red letters stand for the Jell-O family. That's Jell-O.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O pudding.
Yum, yum, yum.
Jell-O tapioca pudding. Yes, sirree.
And now Lucille Ball with Richard Denning as Liz and George Cooper, two people who live together and like it. As we look in on the Coopers tonight, George is just coming home for dinner after another hard day's work.
Hi, honey. I'm home.
Oh, hello, George. Give me a kiss.
Ah, boy, am I glad the day's over. I'm going to take a nice hot shower and pile into bed.
Oh, George, we're going to dinner at the Atterburys.
Oh, I forgot. Can't we get out of it?
Oh, no. They're having us over to meet somebody. A writer.
Is Iris on a culture kick again? Oh, she's like a cat, always dragging home dead literary birds.
Well, she says this writer's very famous and interesting.
Writers are all alike. What'll you bet this one will be an opinionated jerk in baggy tweeds with a smelly pipe and a beard?
I'll bet you $1 million. This one is a woman.
Well, I suppose we'll have to go and spend a boring evening. What's its name?
Margaret Baldwin.
Margaret Baldwin.
Mm-hmm.
Baldwin. Hey, not old Maggie Baldwin. I went to college with her.
Oh? Well, do you think it's the same one?
I bet it is. Maggie was always writing poetry for the school magazine, and she was editor of the yearbook. Sure, it's the same one.
Well, I imagine she's the homely, intellectual type.
Oh, not Maggie.
Would you mind backing up a few words? I don't like the tone of your oh, ho, ho, ho.
Oh, that Maggie was quite a dish. Besides being brilliant, she was a gorgeous blonde.
You know, George, I think you're right. This might be a very boring evening.
Oh, I don't know, Liz. As you say, it won't hurt me to absorb a little culture once in a while.
Yeah, but you're tired, George.
Gee, I wonder if good old Maggie's changed.
If you're that tired, George, let's just stay home.
Oh, no. This'll be interesting. I better go put on a clean shirt.
Oh, you don't have to?
Oh, it's no trouble. Now what's the matter?
You didn't put on a clean shirt last night when you went out to dinner with me.
Now, before we go in, Liz, I want you to promise me something. Liz, now stop acting like a child. I want you to promise me you'll behave and not make any smart aleck remarks to Miss Baldwin.
Oh, I'll behave, Daddy.
Liz.
I'll only take one piece of cake, and when I go home, I'll curtsy and say, I had a very nice time at your party.
Never mind. Oh, hi, Mr. Atterbury.
George, boy. Liz, girl, come in.
Hi, Uncle Rudolph. Is Miss Blank Verse here yet?
She and Iris are upstairs. They'll be right down.
Say, I went to school with a Margaret Baldwin. I wonder if it's the same one. What's she look like?
Oh, she's quite a girl, boy.
A girl boy?
She used to be real good looking.
Yes, she still is. Wait till you get a load of her iambic pentameter.
Hey, I'll bet it's died.
Liz, iambic pentameter is... Oh, never mind.
Oh, good. The Coopers seem to be here.
Well, I'm anxious to see if it's the same George that... George Cooper. It is you, isn't it?
Maggie Baldwin.
Blech. Just stand there, George, and let me look at you.
Miss Baldwin, this is Mrs. Cooper.
How do you do?
Oh, George, dear, you haven't changed a bit.
I'm very pleased to,
That same wicked glint in your eye. I used to think so horrid. The same carefree, unruly curl on your forehead.
Well, if it isn't Edgar Guest.
I beg your pardon.
Miss Baldwin, this is Mrs. Cooper.
Oh, yes, Maggie, this is my wife, Liz.
Your wife? Well, I always wondered what kind of a girl George would marry. Let me look at you. Well,
Now, just a minute.
Liz!
Rudolph, do something. Talk about her book.
Miss Baldwin, I've been meaning to tell you I certainly enjoyed your book.
oh, really, Mr. Atterbury? I didn't suppose you'd read it. Most men don't care for poetry.
Oh, I enjoyed it all right. And gad, what a provocative title.
Did you really think so?
I'm ashamed to say I haven't read the book. What was the title, Mr. Atterbury?
Yes. Let Miss Baldwin tell you. She can say it with more meaning than I can.
What was the title, Maggie?
Poems.
Yes, that is provocative.
Thank you, Mrs. Cooper.
And you ever write a sequel to it? I've got a smash title for you. You can call it More Poem.
Miss Baldwin, didn't I read something about you judging a playwriting contest on the local radio station?
Oh, yes. The purpose of my trip is really to stimulate interest in the art of writing. This radio contest is a helping hand we professionals lend to beginners.
That's nice.
Very sporting.
I'm also giving a lecture at Town Hall on how to get the most out of Kipling.
I knew she kibbled the moment I saw her.
Liz! Now, tell me, Maggie, what have you been doing all these years?
Oh, exciting, vital things. I've been to Europe 5 times.
No.
Yes, something keeps pulling me back to Paris.
What did you do? Get your girdle caught on the Eiffel Tower?
As a matter of fact, George, I've continued my education too. Now it's Mark Baldwin, Ph.D.
Ph.D.? You know what that means, Liz?
Yes, Margaret Baldwin, Fudd.
No. It means she's a doctor.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, say, I'm glad you're here, Doc. I sure feel wrong.
Elizabeth!
Take a look at my throat, will ya?
I think we better go into dinner now.
I think so too. Maggie, will you take my arm?
Oh, thank you.
My arm, Lotus Bud?
Oh, thank you, Rudolph.
Will you take my arm, Liz? What? That skinny old thing? Well, all right. Ow, not so tight. You're pinching. Well, that was a nice, silent ride home.
I hope you're satisfied with the way you acted tonight. Frankly, I'm amazed that you'd be so jealous.
You wish you were married to her.
No, I do not.
You do too.
Oh, stop it. I don't want to be married to a brilliant intellectual woman. I want to be married to you. Oh, honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean it the way it sounded. I love you.
Well, I don't blame you for being attracted to her. But don't forget, I gave up my writing career to devote myself to marriage.
Your writing career?
Yes, I used to write, and well, too. You may not know it, but you're looking at the president of the Short Ridge High School Scroll and Quill Club.
Oh, is that all?
Is that all? I won the senior class essay contest. I was on my way to becoming a shining literary light.
Well, what happened?
I married you and cut off my current.
I apologize to posterity. I gained a wife, and the world lost a great writer.
You don't believe me, do you? Well, I still have a copy of that essay in my scrapbook. I'll show you.
Oh, Liz, I'm tired.
Right here. Here it is. Thoughts of a graduating senior. As graduation approaches, there is a lump in my throat. My head is in the clouds, but my feet are on the ground as I stand at the crossroads, looking backwards and facing the future with a smile.
You were quite a contortionist in those days, weren't you?
George Cooper, are you laughing at me?
No, I'm not laughing.
Well, go ahead. You laugh. They laughed at Robert Fulton, too, you know.
Robert Fulton? What did he write?
You think I don't know? Showboat.
No, I'm sorry I laughed, Liz, but let's face it. You never were a writer, and you never will be.
Oh, yes, I was, and oh, yes, I will be. I'll show you.
Oh, forget it, honey.
No. This is a challenge. I'm going to enter that radio writing contest your girlfriend is going to sponsor. What do you think of that? Yeah, well, you'll laugh out of the other side when I win that contest. You're looking at Liz Cooper, radio's answer to television.
Oh, sure. sure as if Liz will ever appear on television, much less radio. But say, here's something swell that you'll love to write about. You can start putting pen to paper right now about how you treat your family to delicious Jell-O puddings. Jell-O chocolate, butterscotch, and vanilla pudding. Boy, take it from me, there's something. Rich and distinctive, smooth as cream, chock full of old-fashioned homemade goodness. Try luscious Jell-O chocolate pudding in this tempting chocolate roll. Just prepare your pudding as directed on the package, reducing the milk to 1 3/4 cups. Cool, spread on a sheet of sponge cake, and roll it up like a jelly roll. It's a grand and glorious dessert treat. Jell-O puddings are so quick and easy to prepare. All you do is add milk and they take about 5 minutes to cook. Get all 3 Jell-O puddings tomorrow and find out why more women buy Jell-O puddings than any other prepared puddings in the world.
J-E-L-L-O!
As we return to the Coopers, we find Liz anxiously waiting for a phone call, which will tell her whether she won the radio script writing contest or not.
Oh, I wish they'd hurry and call, George. I haven't left this telephone. Oh, there it is. That's them. I've won. Where's the telephone? Where's the telephone, George? Where's the phone?
In your hand. You're running around the room with it.
Oh. Hello? Oh, it's them. Yes. Yes, this is Elizabeth Shakespeare. I used a pen name. What? I did? I am? Oh, George, I've won. I'm one of 3 finalists.
Good. Out of how many?
Out of how many? Oh, tomorrow night, huh? Yes, I'll be there. Oh, thank you. Goodbye. Oh, George, I can't believe it. They're going to put the 3 best scripts on the air tomorrow night and then pick the winner. And I came in 3rd.
Out of how many?
Imagine me having my script done on the air.
Out of how many? Liz, how many scripts were submitted?
3. Oh, you have to go and spoil everything.
What? Oh,
Well,
honey,
don't-
I really think it's wonderful. Really, I'll be glued to the radio. I wouldn't miss hearing it for the world.
Well, don't worry, you won't. You're going to be in it, and so are the Atterburys.
What?
We have to furnish our own cast, all amateurs.
Well, count me out. I'm not appearing on any radio show.
Oh, George, all I get. The part calls for a handsome, dashing adventurer who sweeps all the girls off their feet with his great personal charms.
Well, what are you standing there for? Let's call the Atterburys and get started.
Yeah.
We came over as soon as we could, Liz girl.
Well, I sure appreciate it, Iris.
A lot of silly foolishness dragging me out on a cold night to be in some silly play.
Don't let him kid you, Liz. As soon as I told him about it, he pushed me aside, ran up to the attic, and started looking for his tights, shouting at the top of his lungs, "To be or not to be."
Please, please, Iris. That's not the way to say it. To be or not to be?
Yes, dear.
That is the question.
Yes, dear, but not now.
Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of our great fortune, or to take arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing them,
Rudolph.
end them, to die, to sleep no more.
That's right, Rudolph. No more.
Lotus bud.
Look, everybody. Let's get started, huh? Now, here are the scripts. See, it's a mystery soap opera entitled John's Other Whistler.
Now, that's quite a title.
Well, thank you. Now, Mr. Atterbury, you play the Whistler.
Whew. Bad casting. He's got the weakest pucker in town.
Iris!
He doesn't have to whistle. Now, George.
I know, I'm John.
Yes, John, an elderly gentleman, 75 years old, who gets killed at the end of the first act. Now, Iris.
Just a minute. You said I had the leading part.
You have. You're lying right there the whole time. We talk about you. Iris, you play John's wife, 73-year-old Madge.
Thanks a lot. Well, John, we sure got stuck.
We sure did. I'll be dangling.
All right, now let's start.
Now, just a minute. What does the whistler sound like?
Oh, you know. So you thought you'd get away with it, eh, Madge?
Oh, yes, I remember. Yeah.
You walk into the room, don't you, Madge? And there on the floor is a boom boom dead man.
What's that boom boom business?
Well, I don't know, but if there isn't a boom boom, it isn't a whistler. Now, here we go.
Now wait. What are you going to do, Liz?
Don't worry about me. Besides being the writer, I'm also the director, the producer, the sound effects man, incidental voices, and the music.
Oh, pardon me, Orson.
Go ahead, George. You be the announcer.
Okay. Presenting John's Other Whistler. Written, produced, directed, edited, sound effected, and musiced by Liz Cooper.
Come on, everybody. This is the studio where we're supposed to go.
Oh, isn't this exciting, Rudolph?
Oh, just another opening night Lotus, Bud.
Do you have a sore leg, Mr. Atterbury? You're walking funny.
Yeah.
You won't believe it, but he's got his tights on under his pants.
What for?
Well, I just wanted to be prepared, that's all. In case of an emergency, I can strip down and do Hamlet.
Oh.
Oh, here comes Maggie.
Hello, George, Iris, Rudolph. What are you doing here? I was waiting for a Miss Shakespeare.
Speaking.
You?
Yes. Surprised, aren't you?
Well, I scheduled your play first. We'd better go on into the studio.
Okay, give us our scripts.
Scripts? You were supposed to bring them with you.
Oh, no. I thought you'd have them all typed and ready for us.
Oh, dear, no scripts. What do we do?
If I may make a suggestion, I'd be more than glad to give my rendition of Hamlet.
You keep your pants on, Mr. Atterbury.
Well,
I'll run home and get the scripts.
no, there's no time for that. Your only chance is to go into one of these offices and type up copies.
Okay, come on. Where's the typewriter?
That finishes our second original radio script by Mrs. Virginia Hall. And now,
I finished. Here's your scripts, everyone. I never typed so fast in my life.
and now our third and last script written by Liz Cooper entitled, may I have the script, please?
Here.
The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog.
I was practicing typing. The title's next.
John's Other Whistler. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll do the sound effects.
This is the story of John and Madge, two people who live together and loathe it. As we look in on them today, Madge is saying,
John, We've been married 65 years today. And there's something I think you should know.
What?
I don't like you.
Well, I'll be dead lame. I love you. You've got a face like a camel.
Let me see that. That's Cameo.
Oh,
You read it wrong.
You've got a face like a cameo. Your mouth is like a rosebud. And your nose is continued on the next page.
Don't read that.
Your nose is like a button.
I don't care. I'm leaving. I got me another liver.
Lover.
At my age, I'd get more use out of another liver.
Iris, could you please just read what's on the paper? Now go ahead.
I am sorry, John. My mind's made up.
Yes, your mind's made up, isn't it, Madge? You're going to kill John and collect the insurance, aren't you, Madge? I know the nameless terriers.
Terrors.
Terrors of the night, for I am the Whistler. Liz, you have a sound effect here.
Oh, I forgot. Take it again.
Yeah, as the Whistler, for I am the Whistler. And John, your wife is leaving you. What have you to say to that? What have you to say to that?
nothing. My line has been left out.
I'll go home from my line, Liz.
All right.
Hark! I hear a doorbell. Liz?
Oh, yeah.
No, Liz. Hark! I hear a doorbell.
Oh,
Doorbell! Doorbell! Hark! I hear an auto horn.
never mind. I got the doorbell.
I remember who that can be, John.
You wonder who that can be, John, don't you, Madge? So do I. That's the last page I've got.
Say something.
To be or not to be? That is the question, isn't it, Madge?
Rudolph.
All right, all right, all right. I think that's enough of this.
That's not in the script.
I know it.
But we haven't finished.
Oh, yes, you have. Our time is running out. I have the judge's decision in this envelope. The prize for the best play goes to the comedy written by Liz Cooper.
Yay! Well, I'll be dag-blamed.
Liz, you're a genius. How'd you ever learn to write comedy?
Oh, there's nothing to it. You just write it serious and type it in a hurry.
It's time for My Favorite Person, starring Lucille Ball.
And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We all loved Lucy, whether she was Lucy on television or as Dizzy Liz Cooper on radio. Tonight's Dizzy Lizzy was our own Judy Marsh. with her long-suffering George being played by Jay Summerfield. Others in the cast were Rob Krasniewski as To Be or Not to Be, Rudolph Atterbury, and Nell Brennan as his wife, Iris. And the part of Maggie Baldwin, Fudd, was taken up by Ellie Babka. And very ably making a mess of sound effects, on purpose of course, was Donna Amesmeyer. And our music department once again is Marianne Sadlek. And let us not forget our technical staff for this broadcast, John V. Gelsomino and Joe Macchia. And I'm your announcer, Rob Humph, speaking, and thank you once again very much for coming to the...
Rob Humph.
Yes? What is it, Judy?
I want to know what the radio players will be bringing to Riverside next month. You know, Christmas is coming.
You know, can't we celebrate the Thanksgiving feast? I've got about 8,000 calories to work off first.
Well, of course we can. I love that holiday too. But you know, December is right around the corner, and I want to make sure I don't miss their annual end of the year show. It will be the Christmas Carol, won't it?
No. No Christmas Carol this time. Judy, no Christmas Carol for you. As a matter of fact, this year they've chosen another great classic, Miracle on 34th Street. The Lux Radio Theater's presentation that starred Maureen O'Hara, John Payne, Edwin Gwen, and little Natalie Wood. That's some trivia that Ellie would have let us know about. We tipped you off. So we invite all of you to be in our audience on Sunday, December 13th, 2009, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, right here in this beautiful auditorium. And as a special treat, the professional instrumental ensemble called the Christmas Brass, under the direction of Mr. Angelo Ivanelli, will be performing a program of live Christmas music following the radio show. And we've received word that St. Nick just possibly might show up too. So do bring your family and friends of all ages. You'll be sure to enjoy the entire afternoon. And we can't let you go tonight, though, without letting you know how thankful we are for your enthusiasm and being part of our wonderful audience each month. Let us remember that there are many things for which we may each give thanks. So, before next month's holidays take over, we here at Riverside Township Radio Players wish you all a wonderful Thanksgiving. Take care and see you next month on Sunday afternoon, December 13th, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Good night.
And I'd like to again thank the Riverside Township and its board for sponsoring our group. And I do see one of the board members here. She came in a little bit late, but I'd like to introduce you to Ann Kibitsky. Are there any other board members here? I hate to leave anybody's name off. Okay. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. Thank you so much.